Hey, Bayek, it's me, Ian. And in today's video, I'm going to go back to Hammer. Yes, I know, I can't resist Hammer. It's always Hammer, isn't it? Yeah, well, why not? Anyhow, here we are. Today's film is Dracula A.D. 1972. That was from 1972. Yes. And it's... If you look at Rotten Tomatoes, I seem to be looking there, it only gets 30%. Yes, and we know what we think about them, don't we? Yes, exactly. Anyhow, basically, this film came about because Warner Brothers, who'd been quite successful with the Count Yorga vampire film, commissioned Hammer to do 2 Dracula films. Oh, sorry, incidentally, Count Yorga. Arrow, I think, are releasing the Count Yorga films together. I think there's 2 together being released. So, anyhow, just put that in like I do. Anyhow, back to here. Yes, right. Yes, so they wanted 2 Dracula films they commissioned, but they had to be in the present world. Now, so, as we know, Hammer films tended not to be in the present world. No, the Gothic feel. They were in this, Victorian kind of era. Just that sort of timeless. It was a timeless kind of... You knew the atmosphere and it was there. There was no modern world, basically. But now we had to move Dracula into the modern world. And that could be very interesting, as it was very interesting. Hey, yes, it certainly was. But, as we know, not everybody liked change and things. But I think, as Hammer knew at the time, and as I've already talked about in previous films, the American horror film and the Italian horror film were, in fact, moving forward, and Hammer had to catch up. Hammer now was beginning to look, not quite as good as it did, and they had to compete. The box office was showing that there was an appetite for this new modern look at horror films, and certainly The Exorcist would blow everything wide open. So Hammer had to move into the modern world. They had shown signs of it. They knew that they had to be a bit more gore in it, and he had to get its X certificate, basically. You remember, I told you the British Film Board of Censors, they had to have the REIT X certificate. It had to be on there, and then a more perhaps erotic feel to it. You had to show more nudity or more suggestive nudity. So the times were a changing here. Bob Dylan, he popped in, but that was earlier. But there we are. So Hammer had to change, and here was the perfect opportunity, because the film starts in 1871. We get the wonderful battle, what could have been the last battle, but obviously it won't, because we've got a whole film to come for, between Van Helsing and Lawrence Van Helsing and the Count, and basically ends in a draw with them both finished. It looks like that's the end of Dracula, but of course it can't be, because we wouldn't have a film otherwise. And then we jump into 1972. Yes. And Van Helsing's contemporaries. The contemporary Van Helsing, his granddaughter, and Lorimer Van Helsing, which is played by Peter Cushing. Yes. Of course, I was just going to say, the other great thing about this film is it's Peter Cushing and Sir Christopher Lee again together. Yes! What? You can't argue with that, can you? Quality, quality. That's why this is another great film, but not everybody agrees with it as usual, as the critics don't. But it is, honestly, I love it. You've got to love this film. You really have. Let me just say, it's also directed by Alan Gibson, who also directed the next one, which was The Satanic Rites of Dracula in 1974, which again was set in the contemporary time, 1974. And again, that didn't go down that well either. Did they ever? I don't know. But again, I can see a lot of good stuff in that. I mean, I love these kind of nostalgic films for me. You know, just seeing London in the 1970s, 1972 London. Fantastic. I love seeing it, because I was 12. I remember going to London a lot, seeing, as a child, mum and dad taking me down to London, and it's great to see London. You can't beat it, it's really magical. And seeing this sort of different kind of world with the groovy look, almost like that 60s kind of vibe. You've got a group of kids there who are just the modern so-called kids, doing, well, when I say kids, they're not kids, they're teens or young adults, and they're all enjoying themselves, all being very hedonistic and just enjoying the delights of London. And that's the sort of setting that we're in. I mean, you're in a different world from the other Hammer films when you're at this rather posh place party, a lot of posh people, and they're playing rock music, what you might call, but actually it's a group called Stoneground, an American group. They play 2 numbers in the film, and this is at the beginning of the film, and the way you just see it, hey, this is a bit different. Yeah, even the sort of music going on in the background throughout the movie, you've got this modern feel of that sort of era. I mean, it doesn't feel modern now, but then it was really, really modern. Yeah. So you've got all that kind of thing. And as I say, I just love all this thing. As usual, Hammer do a great job with the locations. I mean, they, on low budgets, they're just fantastic at just getting so much out of it. And of course, getting a wonderful group of actors, So say you've got Cushing Lee and Stephanie Beacham plays his granddaughter. She's rather good in it. She became more famous for her TV roles, I would say. She was in Dynasty and Colby's. Yeah, that's what sort of made her name. But she was known in British television as well, pops up everywhere. So there you are. So she, in America, she would have been known, as say, for those 2 roles in those soaps. But anyhow, that's the thing. The other person that we see is Christopher Neame. Now, he stars as Johnny Alucard. Now, you think, Alucard? That sounds a bit funny, but of course, Peter, he's onto it straight away. He says, hey, if you look at that, turn it round and it spells Dracula. Hey, and he's right. So that gives him a clue already. It's the kind of thing that happens, basically. So the film really gets going because they're bored like they do. They enjoy their, sex, drugs, and all this kind of stuff. But they want more. Oh, yes, they always want more. And why not? A bit of black magic. Yeah, a bit of black magic. Yeah, what harm's that going to do? What are we going to do? So that's what they do. And this is how the story gets going. Basically, it ends up resurrecting Dracula again. And of course, he wants the final revenge against Van Helsing. And it's easy, I mean, let's face it. His granddaughter is there amongst all these, groovy people. So that's where it all went. And the film naturally moves forward. And I'm not going to say too much more, but you know how it goes. And it's great because Hammer move things along. You never feel it's a long film. In fact, it seems quite short. It just moves along beautifully, and you just sit there and enjoy it. I mean, how these people heard of just sitting and enjoying a film? It's great. Honestly, this film is great. It really is. And I don't understand why there isn't this love for it, even amongst some so-called Hammer people who think, oh, this is not good, Hammer. It's good, Hammer, as I said. It really is. Fortunately, people now are recognising it. In fact, Tim Burton, film director, rates this as amongst his favourite films. Yes, yeah. So, I mean, there you are. So, it is a great film, and it's so enjoyable. Okay, you don't need to just strain yourself. You don't have to examine everything in it, and you just go along with it and enjoy it in the Hammer tradition. And that's what you get from it. Just an enjoyable journey. This is what Hammer is about, Hammer is about so many things, and it's basically enjoying what they do. And they do a good job at whatever they're given. The scripts, they often have the same kind of actors involved. It's just, that is the ride that you get with Hammer, and it's a good ride. It really is, So people who moan and complain, I've no time for now. Hammer is Hammer. Just enjoy it. Just accept it. Yeah, obviously there's some that are better than others. I think this is really underrated because it does it well, I mean, maybe we could do with a bit more of Dracula there. Could you imagine him on dance floor dancing away and, but we don't get that. But I don't think they would do that. But you know what I mean? It's kind of, well, it's a really grand ride, and you'll enjoy it, honestly. You don't need any spoilers because you can guess kind of things that will happen. But it doesn't matter that it's kind of predictable. It doesn't matter. You know that what you're getting. You know exactly what you're getting with Hammer. And with this film, you get a really good film to watch. It's just great. It's enjoyable. And it's the sort of film I'm gladly got in my collection that I can just, hey, I want that. So I'll just go and watch that. Another Hammer film that I can just watch, And that's good. That's what it should be about, Not getting all snobby, getting all, I don't know, uptight like people do. Hey, we're here. We're enjoying films. Enjoy films. And that's what I do. That's my passion. And this film represents that. Hammer films do. And here we have Dracula A.D. 1972. Just a quick word about this as a release. It was released on Blu-ray 2018 by Warner Brother Archives, the Warner Brother Archives series. This is in a nice slipcover. Just to show you. There's a slipcover. And here we've got a more contemporary artwork of the film, which is quite nice. So I do like the slipcover a lot. I think slipcover is great. My only criticism of this film, not the film, of the package, is where's the extras? A trailer is not an extra. Hey, nee. What was they doing? Saving themselves a bob or two? I think there was. What we do need is a really good release, I'm sure somebody will hopefully in the future come along and give this a lot more loving its way it's released, and we'll have a lot more interesting extras, because I know they're out there. People will talk about this film, give you a good insight into it, and I'm sure there's interviews around still we could use. So, hey up, get this in, some proper extras. That's what I say. But I'm not going to be any more negative. I'm happy to have this film, and it's here. Okay, it's not many extras, but it's in Blu-ray. The transfer's good. You'll enjoy it. Hey, that's all you need, isn't it? Right. Hey, great. So, that's it then. That's it. I'm finished. So I'll just say, you know what I normally say. If you're enjoying this, subscribe. If you like it, what I'm talking about in this particular video, give it a like. You can even comment. Yes, you can do whatever you want. But that's all I've got to say, really. Hope you enjoy it, and I'll see thee, and I'll see thee again.